Right.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are delighted to spend the hour with you, and I'll tell you, for this next hour, I'm going to give you some fair and biased real estate talk. I always say this: knowledge empowers you to make wise decisions when it comes to real estate. How you doing, Mr. Ron Taylor?
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was trying to hear you. I'm sorry. I'm doing good.
Yeah, well, you did that. I mean, that's you don't watch out, you get cattywampus
that's right.
on that.
Sure will. Good to see
I'll
you.
tell you, for this hour, for you folks that are out there that have your home listed and you're getting a little aggravated because you're not getting the amount of showings, you're not. You see the old real estate agent driving up the driveway saying the dreaded 3 words, drop the price. Well, you want to stick around, and we're going to give you some tools that will help that aggravation go away. Live in my studio is Miss Jana Uselton with Model My Homes. Did I say that right, or my tongue twisted
today? You got it
today?
right. It's Jana Uselton.
Yeah,
That's right.
it depends on which part of the country. Is it white perch fishing or crappie fishing, huh? You know what I'm saying? So we'll talk about how important it is to stage a home. And again, we are delighted that we can spend the hour with you. Also in my studio is Mr. Chaz Carrier with Home Investors. How you doing, sir?
Good. Great to be here.
Yeah, good to have you here, man. If Sean Bone would come down here and do his job, get this video streaming up, everybody around the country would see that you are grinning from ear to ear.
That's right. I'm a happy guy.
Yeah, happy guy. So everything okay on his mic, Ron?
He's doing good.
We're good. Okay.
Doing good.
So really today, we are delighted that you're in here because you're a testimony as to how important the look of a home is in getting it sold. And I know that you guys buy homes, and then you got to do your makeover on it, if you will. And Jana's a part of that. Talk about how important staging a home professionally is and what it's done for your business, if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, we're enormous advocates of staging, and I've kind of made a philosophical shift. When I first got in the business, I've been in it about 6 years, and we buy and sell about 100 houses a year and probably rehab 30 or 40. We never used to stage, and we couldn't find one that we thought was a good value, and we just hadn't really embraced whether it was important. And gradually we started moving in that direction. I saw other people doing it and things like that, and now I would never consider doing a retail property without staging it. I think it's the best bang for the buck I can get. Sometimes it enables me to cut my rehab a little bit shorter because it's all about presentation. It's all about getting an emotional attachment with the person who's buying it. And staging is awesome for it.
So let me ask you, a lot of people that have their home listed right now are probably thinking, man, my daughter knows a interior designer that just got out of school, and heck, I don't have to pay her, so she'll come over and tell me what to do. Really, at modelmyhome.com, you can go out and do the Ready, Set, List button. Is it a button on there, or what is it, Jenna?
You just click on, and it will download an ebook for you. So, yes.
It tells you how to do it. But more importantly, what Jana has done is bring legitimacy to the industry of how important staging is to real estate and moving the transaction. For you, Chaz, obviously, as an owner of a company, you see the dollar value in professionally staging. At what point did the light come on for you about that?
It was several years into it. We part of it was just finding the right value, and that includes the price of the staging. That includes the execution and the reliability. We did a little bit with staging, but we just weren't happy with the people that we were doing it with. They just weren't executing all that well. Just getting it in on the right time and having it be the way that we thought it should be and things like that. We thought we were overpaying for a product that wasn't that good. And we finally came upon Jana and her team, and we thought the value was there. And, I've said many times, she's our best vendor in terms of reliability and execution and value and all those kind of things. So that's what helped get me there. And then we just gradually started to see that, wow, there's times where we could save thousands of dollars on a feature that we were maybe going to do. Rather than do that, we just stage it. I can give you a great example of one that
Talk about that.
we're
I
doing
love
right
those.
now. We've got a property down in Oak Cliff that we're listing for about $150,000, and it had some wood floors that were decent, but they weren't great. And we were spending a lot of time saying it had about 600 feet of them. And so for us, it's close to $3 a foot to sand them and resurface them. So we're talking $1,800.
$2,000.
Yeah, we're thinking about we really maybe need to do that. And then we just started thinking, once we get our staging in here, they're good enough. Nobody's even going to notice them, and they're gonna be fine. They just weren't perfect. And sometimes in the industry, you get so hung up on perfection as a rehabber when that's really not even what the customer's looking for. You got to remember that it's all about trying to appeal to the customer. It's not trying to amuse yourself. And so we put the staging in, and I went down to it the other day, and I said, man, I can't even believe I thought about spending $2,000 on doing those floors when I was going to stage it anyway. The staging is much less expensive than that, beyond that, but I was going to stage it anyway. And so to just waste the time to do that resurfacing would have done nothing.
Chaz, I try to hit the relate button on this show every day, and that's what real estate talk is about. It's sitting around having a cup of coffee. Everybody likes to talk about real estate. The problem is, I found when I started this program that a lot of people that were talking about real estate, for lack of a better term, really didn't know what they were talking about. And so, as we continue to bring knowledge to our communities, it's really really cool to have you in here and talk about, like, for example, the floors. A lot of people don't know real estate is common sense, which is not so common. And a lot of people, you have to be a seasoned expert to have that deciphering battle in your mind as to whether or not to spend $1,800 on getting the hardwood floors ready or stage. And staging is a lot less. And I'll tell you, from your perspective, by staging it professionally and it moving quickly, that helps you on the buying side of your next transaction, does it not?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's all about turn and moving the properties quickly, and there's no question that the staging does it. This property's gotten incredible feedback, and we even really feel like we've priced this toward the upper end of the range for that particular area, but we think it's a really good property, and we knew with the staging that we thought we could push the top of the range, and so we've already had one offer on the property, and we expect to get more.
So, Jana, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stump Chaz here with some statistics, okay?
Sure.
And he'll either be shaking his head yes or shaking his head no. And I'll tell you, because Sean Bone hadn't done his job and got video streaming up here, I'll tell you what he's doing. But it's a proven fact that a staged home versus an unstaged home sells quicker, and I know you should know some times
Absolutely.
on that.
We have statistics industry-wide as well as more powerful in our own Dallas-Fort Worth area here with our own company. And so we're seeing that over 90% of the homes that we stage receive a top offer, and this is an accepted offer, not just lowball, but within 45 days.
Uh-huh.
So, that's amazing. When you're looking at our average days on market here in Dallas-Fort Worth around 90, when we can cut market time almost in half and you're getting these top offers, you're able to, if you're an investor, be able to free up that money for your next project, or if you're a homeowner or a seller, be able to move to that next phase in life.
And I'll tell you, I'm seeing my old buddy Chaz over here nodding his head yes.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, Jana, the other part of that I was going to ask you about is dollar offer. The dreaded three words that a seller or an investor wants to hear is drop the price. Right. Is that three words? I can't remember.
That's it.
That's three words. Drop the price. We don't want to do that, man.
No, absolutely
So properly
not.
staged homes, properly priced homes, I'm going to just take it down to a grassroots level here. I'm a big advocate of the power washer. All right, that helps a lot on the outside. And I'm telling you, man, you sellers out there, you investors out there, you may not think it's a big deal, but power washing the driveway and the sidewalks makes your home look a whole lot better. Wouldn't you say, Chaz?
Oh, no doubt about it. It's, they say that, a person makes a decision about buying a house in almost an instant. But then they spend the rest of their time justifying, why they did it and things like that. And you got to have that emotional appeal coming right out of the gate. And we have people that we think we have some houses that are great on the inside, but they'll drive up to the curb, and because they don't like the way the house looks on the curb, we'll get a note back that says, well, we didn't go in. And some of that stuff we can't fix. It's just a house that didn't have a good curb appeal that was fantastic on the inside, and we just think, God, it's just such a shame that the person didn't go in. But that's the reality. People see that first impression, and it makes a huge impact on them.
It's the whole ball of wax when you're dealing in real estate. You got to do the outside and the inside. And I'll tell you, Jana, I bet you when you pull up to a house and you see an engine block and sitting in the front lawn, but you staged it beautifully on the inside, I know you're going to be telling that homeowner, man, you got to get that engine block out of here.
That's right. It all starts at the curb, and the first most important picture that your real estate agent and their photographer is going to take is the front of the home. If they don't like that, they're not going to click in to see more pictures. And so you have to get it shining and sparkling. The things that you can change and you can adjust, go ahead and put the best foot forward. And sometimes it's just a little bit of new color on the trim. It's trimming up the shrubs and adding some fresh mulch, making sure all of the dead items are pulled out of of the shrubs. It's those things are going to make a huge difference on your first picture and on the curb appeal driving up.
You know what? I'm getting ready to come. I got a few minutes here before we come to break. But real quickly, I don't know if you know this, Ron, but we are now I want to say hello to KLGO, which is simulcast, 99.3 FM in Austin, Texas, also on 1490. And what do we always say, Ron?
Let's keep Austin weird.
Let's keep Austin weird and turn some real estate down there. All you Austinites, is that what they're called, Austinites?
I think so, yeah. They are now.
Well, I know what they called in football, but I'll tell you, Jana, if they want to hit you on the bat line, what number is that, dear?
You can reach us at 972-733-3435.
All right, so what I want to do when we come back later on in the program, you want to stick around because Jana's going to tell us about some of the particulars about what she does and really get into the nuts and bolts as best we can. But when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about homevestors and what they do and so on and so forth. What a good company that is. Can you do that for me, Chaz?
Be glad to.
Friend, I tell you, we're having a blast up here on Real Estate Talk today. And, oh, by the way, you're listening to Real Estate Talk with Willie Lambright, the absolute best nationally syndicated real estate talk show in the land, and backed by popular demand. We're going to be back in the, hey, never say whoa, at the Mud Hole, Willie Scotia. We'll be back in 3.